Staying with us. This is Sunday Express. Tonight we are talking about divorce and separation because of the worrying trend that we have seen, not just in our country but globally. It was not like this in the past. That is what my guest is telling me this particular session. And of course we are just talking more about why the surge in the numbers of people who are seeking divorce, filing for a divorce. And I'm having this sit down with Dr. Chris Ajabor. He's a relationship expert and also ministers at the Omega Worship Center. Thank you for staying on.
Thank you.
And of course, just to take this a notch higher, before the break, yes, we wanted to find out really, four stages or the four signs.
Actually, there are five, but the four activate the fifth stage.
Okay, so take us through that, because that alone can help somebody avert this breaking point.
All right, if you're married, there are certain stages you should look out for. The first stage is denial. When you've been denied of your right as a man, you've been denied of your right as a woman. Once the couple starts suffering that denial stage, you deny your husband of his rights, his respect, him being the Lord over you. As a woman, the man is denying you the basic amenities, basic things, needs. So the first stage is denial. The second stage is anger. When there's so much anger in the house, the woman is talking, the man is talking, hey, I don't like this, little to get them upset, little thing. Hey, you're supposed to keep the cap here. No, you're supposed to turn off the light, but you're on the light. You see, those little things, that is now anger. When anger comes into marriage, that's the second stage. The first one is denial, second is anger. And the third one you can see here is complaint. The man will tell you, where this thing you're doing, I don't like it. I am tired, I am fed up of this thing. So he's complaining. After being angry, he starts complaining. I'm fed up with this, I can't take this any longer. The man will tell you, go to hell. The man will tell you, go to hell. And you hear the man saying, I can do without you. Hear the woman saying, I can do without you. So that is the third stage.
This is progressive.
It's progressive. After the anger, we come to depression. The man is depressed. The woman is depressed. When a man is depressed, he looks for who to talk to. When a woman is depressed, she looks for who to talk to. So during the stage of depression, there is something that comes in that is the wrong company and wrong advice. When a woman is depressed, she meets a wrong person out there. The woman will tell her, why don't you leave this man? When a man is depressed and he meets a wrong friend out there, a wrong company, and the man tells him, why don't you leave this woman alone? There are better women out there. The woman will say there are better men out there. What are you doing with this guy? Then after depression, there's the last stage, which is called acceptance. That is where you hear the woman say, file me a divorce, I want. The man will say, I have accepted, I am useless. I've accepted, I'm not useful. I'm accepted this man. So he accepts anything you tell him as of that stage.
So yeah, they've had it.
They've had it.
They no longer want to fight for it. As of that stage, that is where you see some of these men having kids outside, even before separation and divorce. That's where you see the woman hanging out. So they've gone through those stages. So as a couple, it's not usually just an accident.
No, it doesn't just happen.
You woke up and then suddenly you're not reading from the same script and you separate.
No. I remember, let me tell you this. Divorce are in 3 stages. It's commonly on those in 1 to 2 years in marriage. They are not understanding themselves. From the first year of marriage, second year of marriage, the wife is complaining about this, the husband is saying about this. So if you are able to escape your first and second year in marriage, there is another year waiting for you. That is the 5th to the 8th year. The 5th to the 8th year is what we call the perseverance, and it's like you are enduring to see if this thing can work. As a matter of fact, when you cross 8 years in marriage, it's very hard for separation or divorce to take place. But
so the biggest test is between the first year to the 8th.
First to the 8th year is the biggest test you could ever imagine.
And this is where most couples usually
go and make your research. Marriages break between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Then you say, hey, this woman, I don't like the way she's dressing. You begin to find faults. But
if you go back and look at some of the reasons that are presented for why we are filing for a divorce or why we want to separate as a couple, as a relationship expert and a marriage counselor, do they hold any weight? Is it a valid reason for?
I think,
or could most of these marriages have been saved if if they looked at things differently? What do you think?
I think some of the reasons are valid and some are not. Even when you look into the Bible, what the Bible got to say, there is a reason why you should divorce your wife. Only one reason. It's in the Bible. That is only when your wife is caught in an act of adultery. Even when your husband is caught in an act of adultery. That is a good reason, and you'll not be blamed. But now, most of those reasons like anger, not being able to endure, those things can be corrected. Those things can be managed. I mean, there are people who major based on anger management. That thing can it can really work. But you see, because so many persons were not ready, they were not ready. You see, a young lady in her 20s, she's so inquisitive to be married. She's yet to understand that there will come a day where there will be no food in the house. There will come a week where there will be no food in the house. How do I survive? How do I still relate with this man? I've seen a lot of marriages crash just because the man said, I don't have money.
And during COVID,
I don't have money.
COVID-19
I don't have money. The man is saying it is over.
A lot of those harsh realities have been experienced in families.
I don't have money.
Yeah, true.
The marriage is over just because. But now, if you were actually ready for marriage, you should know, I don't have money is just for a season. It doesn't happen always. For a season. I remember I made mention about low income. Low income.
As a reason.
Very strong reason. Low income. When the landlords are coming to lock up your door every 5th and 6th of the month, and they're embarrassing your wife, mostly a high rate of unemployed men. The women are working, the men are watching footballs.
But Dr. Chris, it isn't funny when there is no food and landlords are knocking left, right, and center. How do you laugh?
That is why I said we need to plan. Everyone getting into marriage, you need to plan. There are certain things you must be able to endure. You must be able to endure. People just wake up in the morning and you sink in 2 million into your wedding, but you've never read one book about marriage.
So you invest in your knowledge.
You invest on the celebration. You don't invest in the future. You don't invest in the union. You don't invest when a child comes in. Okay, you are working as a man, you're earning, let's say, 50,000. And let's say your rent is 15,000. You're left with 35,000. You do the fueling, the food and all that, you're left with, let's say, 8,000. Extra money. The truth is this. When a child comes in, will that 50,000 still sustain the both of you? So every guy out there, be it a male or female, we should think outside the box when it comes to income. Don't have one means of income. Stretch. Have multiple means of income. Whether you agree with me or not.
Dr. Chris, the African mindset is these things are obvious. I mean, we don't have to go to a formal school, read a formal book to be taught how to love. Many people grow up thinking they know these things. We've seen our parents, we've seen, the society, how people live. I mean, these things are just obvious. Do you think that's a mistake we are making as a society, probably?
Yeah, it's a very big mistake. It's a very big mistake because we are not supposed to laugh over all this. We're not supposed to judge people who are going through all this. So it is a point I want to make. Nothing mocks a relationship than lack of finance. So as a society, we have a role to play. We must educate the youths. We must tell them there should be a lot of sensitization. We should let them know these are your expectations when you move into marriage. So we should do more of the talking. We should be able to tell them what is expected, even as they're journeying through that union.
Yeah, I wish that could be included in the syllabus somehow. But unfortunately, we've run out of time for this very important conversation. Dr. Chris, your final words. I believe these are some of the topics we should be picking up in the near future. So another forum, another topic, around this. Just tell us, what is your parting shot? What's the way forward? What do we do? What do we do next?
I think the way forward is simple. We need to go back to the drawing board. We need to go back to the drawing board. That's the first thing. 2, we should be able to have good, positive counselors around us. Counselors who listen to both sides and not be sentimental. We need to go back to the drawing. It's a must. We need to go back to the drawing board. And thirdly, proper upbringing. When you grow up in a home where you see your father beating your mother, you grow up in a home, you see your mother slapping your father, you will do the same in your marriage, and that might end your marriage. You grow up in a home where your father is not providing, or your father never provided. So when you get into marriage, you feel it's a norm. You grew up in a home where your father drinks and come back late at night. You can try that in your home. Your wife is not going to take that from you, and that might be the end of the marriage. You might grow up in a home where you see fathers having more than one wife, for example, keeping mistress out there, and you want to do the same because you see your father doing that same thing. Just on one attempt, the marriage is shattered. You grew up in a home where your father is talking, your mother is talking. Your father is talking, your mother is talking. You are stupid, you are mad. You're crazy, you're foolish. Try that on one attempt in your own marriage, it's shattered. So proper upbringing really matters. As we were growing up raising kids, we should be able to educate them on what marriage is all about. We should be able to educate them the standard for living and the standard that is expected in every home and relationship.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll just put a comma there, not even a full stop, just a comma there, and picking it up in the near future. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris Ajabo. He's a relationship expert, also serving at the Omega Worship Center, for sharing your tips with us tonight on divorce and separation. So, a parting shot, many people invest so much on that big wedding and forget to invest in the marriage. What are you celebrating? 2 million, for crying out loud, without having an idea of what you're getting yourself into. At least invest in finding out what is it that you're just about to sign up for, because you're going to sign. Of course, we'll be picking it up a little bit later, and of course